There are 5 major things veterans should know before buying a home. And as a side note, these 5 things go for anyone that uses their VA home loan benefits to purchase that next house. For those that are new here, I'm Rick Elmendorf. I'm a mortgage loan officer with 30 years under my belt in mortgage banking. And for the past 20 years, the team and I have ranked in the top 1% of loan officers nationwide. Currently ranked number 1 in the Metro DC area for VA lending. So on this channel, I do a bunch of educational videos like the one you're watching now. And I, of course, share my advice, opinions, and real talk about mortgages and real estate. I promise to not hold back any punches. So if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. So without further ado, here are the 5 things every VA homebuyer should know before buying a house. Number 1, never not use your VA loan benefits. I mean, a VA loan is always better than any other type of financing. And this is for you and the seller. And a side note and a shameful plug, I did a video surrounding the 10 reasons sellers should accept a VA loan offer, and you can get the links, will be in the description and hopefully up here somewhere. But let's talk about buyers and about VA loans in general. So you can use your benefits more than one as a VA homebuyer. Rates are much lower on a VA loan. And if you're getting quoted about the same rate for a VA loan and a conventional loan, that just means that that company's VA loans rates suck. VA loan rates should be a lot better, trust me. VA loan approvals are also much easier. The guidelines are much more flexible and even qualifying for things like, departing residence. If you have a home you're selling or you're living in and you're moving out, that's not really a big deal to the VA. And by the way, this one trips up a lot of lenders. So check with me on that one. You can finance 100% even if your VA loan is in use. This is something that people really don't understand or get really, or know that it's even possible, that when you have your benefits kind of in use, so you have already have a VA loan, you can get another VA loan and, by the way, go up to 100% by virtue of a second mortgage. It's not that difficult. Also, you can get a VA loan with a non-spouse, non-veteran co-borrower. I know a lot of lenders are gonna say, nah, you can't do that, you gotta go conventional. This couldn't be further from the truth. And perhaps there needs to be another video about this one by itself. With a VA loan, you can actually waive financing and the appraisal on a VA loan. And this is, I can't give away all my secrets on this video, so you'll have to schedule a time with me. Link is in the description. Don't worry, it's all above board. Lastly, if you end up getting a conventional loan, refinancing just got 3 times harder. I mean, no joke. Switching to a VA loan isn't just a walk in the park. Like, oh, I'll just get a conventional loan and then I'll just switch it to a VA loan once I'm done with it. No. And it's especially costly if you don't have a disability rating. So that disability rating, that fee, which is called a funding fee, goes up massively if you're trying to switch from a conventional to a VA loan without a disability rating. Anyway, after all of that, it's safe to say that a VA loan is way better. So please don't make the mistake of not using the very benefits that you earned with your service. Now, if this is at all confusing or you just want to learn more, I know I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff here, I'd invite you to book a call with me. There's gonna be a link in the description. Please don't hesitate to even leave a comment on this video. I do respond to all of them. Or again, schedule that call with me. I'd be happy to help. Number 2, make sure you're working with a loan officer that knows VA, that knows how to spell VA, that actually does VA loans. I mean, VA loans are not without their quirks, and you have to know how to maneuver, I guess. And trust me, there's a lot of good loan officers out there, but not all of them know the ins and outs of VA. You really want a specialist when you're dealing with VA loans. Hey, I know a lot of loan officers, really good loan officers, that they do more production than I do, but barely any VA. For example, like myself, I do a ton of VA loans. I do hundreds of VA loans a year. But what I don't do a lot of are state bond programs for first-time homebuyers. It's just not my thing. I'm not a specialist at that with that loan. So I hired somebody on my team that is. But bottom line is, get a specialist. And no offense, again, I feel like I'm harping on other lenders. I'm really not. I wanted to make sure that you knew it's so important to have a specialist and somebody that really knows VA. And for heaven's sake, please do not go to a credit union to get a VA loan. You'll get a worse rate, pay hidden origination fees, Navy Fed, and maybe lose the offer because your loan officer isn't available to answer the phone on the weekend. Or even worse, they don't represent you well to the listing agent. Yeah, and by the way, the listing agent will call your loan officer, and you have to consider that if you're choosing this loan officer, this is the guy or the girl that's going to be speaking to the listing agent on your behalf. And if you're submitting a VA offer and this loan officer can't answer some very pointed questions about VA and actually sell your VA loan, I'm just saying, choose wisely. Number 3, this goes tandem with number 2, is work with a real estate agent who knows how to pitch a VA offer. Equally important is a realtor that knows VA and can talk the talk. I've met many realtors that just dislike VA, and for no valid reasons, I might add. And please bring the comments on that statement. I would love to set you straight and debate you on that point. Let's face it, doing a real estate deal is still about a buyer agent having a good conversation with a listing agent. Having a good agent that is reputable and understands VA and can sell the simple benefits as to why it is a better deal for the seller is invaluable. And again, to my side note and shameless plug, I did a video on my channel that outlines 10 reasons why sellers should accept a VA offer. It's rather compelling if you ask me, and it would be great homework for any agent who wants to learn some tricks about how to pitch a VA loan offer. Number 4, make sure you are writing your contracts with quick closing dates. 30 to 45 days is not only unnecessary, it could torch your offer. Many lenders have an upfront loan approval process that massively shortens the timeline, so I would take advantage of that. My team has a process called same-day mortgage. I've done some content on this where we fully approve loans in 1 day and close in 10 to 14. Yes, and yes, on a VA loan, we're doing this. But bottom line, speed wins. Number 5, escalate and waive contingencies. Now, if it's needed, you do have the ability within your VA offer to escalate and waive contingencies. Now, as far as escalations go, it's pretty simple. You pick a starting number and escalate over that number in increments, say $5,000 up to your top number, say $20,000 over that starting number. One brilliant agent I know, and I'll just call her Kate, sometimes she escalates over the offer price with no top number. It's genius because if it's all about price, you'll know exactly what that number is. And if there's an HOA, you have an immediate out if you don't like the final price that you land on. Now there's quite a bit more to this strategy and I'd be happy to fill you in, but I only give out the best secrets to my clients. So please, again, schedule a call. But let's talk about waiving contingencies. Now, when we talk about waiving a finance contingency or an appraisal contingency, let's talk about them separately. Waiving the financing contingency. This doesn't mean that you can actually waive a financing contingency with VA. You still have to go through the process of getting your approval done, which is why I suggest people getting their approvals done up front, so you're kind of past that and you can actually, hey, I've got my loan done and approved, so you're good to go. You still have to go through the process. All you're saying when you remove the financing contingency is saying that, listen, don't worry about me. I'm going to get approved, and I'm so confident I'm going to be approved that if I can't get a loan, I forfeit my EMD. That's literally what waiving financing means. Okay? So pretty simple strategy. The appraisal, same lines. All the contracts nowadays, you can't really waive the appraisal. You know, that's not a real thing. Nobody can waive the fact that a lender needs or doesn't need an appraisal. If a lender needs an appraisal, they're getting one. So what you can do is waive the value associated with the appraisal. So when somebody says, oh, well, they just waive financing and appraisal, all they're doing is they're saying, I'm confident I'm getting a loan, so I don't really care about that contingency. I'll waive that contingency because I'm not worried about it. And then the second thing they're gonna waive is the appraisal. I'm not worried about the value no matter what it comes in at. With a VA loan, this is the secret here. If you're putting if you're putting a down payment down on a VA loan, you have typically a lot of room for a low appraisal. And again, in this video I did with the 10 best reasons, I discussed this piece of the appraisal and how the appraiser is accountable on a VA loan, unlike on a conventional loan. If they're coming in low, they got to give darn good reason and they got to ask for help. I digress. Anyways, but if you're putting 5 to 10% down on a VA loan and the appraisal comes in low, well, your VA loan may allow you to go up to 100% financing. Therefore, you already have a built-in appraisal gap contingency. This is a topic that is often discussed nowadays where offers are being made with this gap contingency on appraisals. But with a VA loan, you can take a very calculated risk, waiving this appraisal contingency, i.e. the value piece, and win your offer. Well, I hope these 5 things were helpful. And again, I do offer to schedule a time with you. You can click the link in the description and I'll be happy to go over anything you have. This is Rick Elmendorf and I'll see you on the next video.